conversation with you and say hello, make sure that everyone is well. If you need props, if you need your blocks, I got some blocks here. If you need a strap, if you need a bolster, whatever you need, go get it, right? We're gonna, the vinyasa is gonna be progressive today. It's gonna be at a moderate pace. It's not gonna be snail slow. So be mindful of that. The poses will progress A, B, C, D, kind of, or like a ladder. And so we'll repeat it a couple of times. And then at the end, we have a big finished product. Yeah. That's the way I roll with vinyasa. But anyway, yogis, I just want to say something to the 360,000 plus American citizens that have lost their lives in this virus. This is a mask, and you need to be wearing it when you go outside. There is a new variant and a new strain that is more contagious than the first one, and that it is already here in the United States. And I'm not an alarmist by far, but I am a realist. And I do understand that you are not immune to an airborne disease. We can't even see it coming. And this is especially telling for a yogi. This is our prana. And it's being affected and infected by a variant. Yogis, be very mindful when you go outside and keep your distance from people. It's very important. And it's not about your freedoms being squashed. It's about your life being saved and you saving someone else's life. So be mindful, yogis, when you go outside. And even though we do wear a mask and we do socially distance, there are times when you might get it. So wash your hands and be mindful. I really care about each and every one of you. And I said this 9 months ago. This is not a political issue. And if you still think it's a political issue, you need to check your mind. That being said, let's talk a little bit about paying attention. And this is one of my favorite teachers, Jack Kornfield. He says, we live in a culture of chronic inattention. With inattention, we miss the meal in front of us, the changing scenery, the open-hearted connection with the world. With mindfulness, we can awaken. I do believe that people are choosing not to be mindful. And it's quite astonishing to me. You know, people say that I should be kind of in the middle of things. And look, all my life I was taught to understand an injustice. Excuse me, I put my glasses away on my phone. And to understand that and understand how can we right wrongs and how can we work within a moral and ethical framework. How do we understand that we are equal to each other and that there is no other? This is a democracy, and it doesn't work for people who don't believe that others don't deserve the same rights as they do. This is important to understand. And this is the common denominator of all the problems that we're facing right now. And in a way, this is kind of a renaissance. And hopefully we come out shining on the other side. Be very mindful, yogis, about your thoughts. Be mindful about your anger. Be mindful about your emotions, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your behavior. Because they manifest into the world. And look what's happening. I pray every day for our situation in the world to change and to get better, and that we learn how to love each other. You need to understand that that's a part of a yoga practice. Yeah. So we don't get caught up in our righteousness. That means that I'm not going to get caught up in my opinion of things, but in the reality of a thing and the justness of it, even if I do disagree. So yoga asks us to put our adult pants on and to navigate the world with clarity and good conscience and peace towards others and compassion and gratitude for everything that you have and everything that you will have. So yogis, pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to how you act to others. Pay attention to your words, because they become actions. That being said, yogis, grab your props. I'm sitting on a zabu. I will do a little pranayama exercise so that you might even pay more attention to the idea of protecting your prana and your breath when you go outside. So let's sit on you could sit on a zabu, you could sit on a chair, you could sit on the floor, 2 blocks, a bolster, whatever you'd like. And take a deep breath, yogis, and just arrive in this place. And so we notice things without trying to change them in the beginning. We just notice them. And we notice how we react to them. And why are we reacting to them? Just as when we arrive in our spot and in our seat, we notice how we're reacting to our breath. That's the vehicle for the prana to enter into the body. Notice it. Notice the in-breath and the out-breath. Start to connect to the in-breath through the nose and the out-breath through the nose, cultivating an ujjayi breath. Allow yourself to feel the breath through your practice, yogis, and pay attention when you lose the connection between you and your breath, because that's how the prana moves in the body. That's how we really sense that thing, and that's the embodiment of hatha. If you'd like to dedicate your practice to someone, something, do so. If you need something for yourself, set an intention, yogis. It's a new moon, yogis, in Capricorn, and that means that everything that you set in motion with good intention will happen. Capricorn is very determined and organized, so organize, yogis. What is it that you want? Beautiful yogis, please cultivate that Ujjayi breath throughout your practice. So let's dynamically warm up. I'm going to move my zabu to the side and my blocks. So I'm going to start you on all fours today, yogis. So be mindful if you have any wrist issues. You might want to put your hands on top of a block or make fists or use your forearms instead. Okay, you could do that for the whole practice. So yogis, pressing your palms into the ground if everything is good. You want to index finger and thumb the floor, making an L shape. So your fingertips are pressing into the ground as your palms are pressing into the earth. So we're pressing away from that. We're feeling the energy rising up through the hands, up through the wrists, creating space and toning the forearm. Let the belly drop and lift the head. Inhale. And then tuck the chin into the chest and round the spine on the exhale. So this is really mild. It's not deep. You're just trying to find a little bit of mobility early in the morning, if this is early for you. And then start to walk your hands any way you like, right? So finding that neutral spine, start to move your hands in any position you like to start to load those wrists. If you're on your forearms, just press away from the earth. And so if you can, spinning your fingers towards you, yogis, and then just shift back and forth a little bit and notice the sensation without freaking out about it, right? So like my teachers say, notice sensation, don't make it sensational. Then tucking your toes underneath you, yogis, maybe sitting back a little bit. If the heels of your hands lift up off of the ground a little bit, that's okay. And take a breath. And then come back, yogis. And then release the hands. Just place the back of the hands on the ground. So your fingertips face each other, and then make little fists in and out. So if you've been working on the computer all day, right, all week, if you're at home and you're working from home, you got to do these, yogis. You got to do them. You got to get some juice in those wrists and those hands, right? Good. And then bend the elbows and then press away from the ground, extending the elbows. So we're flexing the elbows and then we're extending the elbows. Let's do that one more time. So we're flexing and extending. Good. And then just peel your hands off and shake them out like you had water on your hands. You try to shake the water off of them. Good. And just take a moment here, yogis, and pull down, opening up space. And just kind of open and close your fingers into the palms. And then this is going to create a little bit of heat. And then just make circles with your wrists. Really good, yogis. You're doing great. All right, so let's come back onto that all fours position. Again, pressing palms into the ground, index finger and thumb, fingertips into the ground, lift up and away from the earth, finding a neutral spine. Let's do that cat-cow again. Inhale, lengthen, look up, and then tuck the chin into the chest and round the spine. Exhale. And so let's place the tops of the feet on the ground. Inhale. And then tuck the toes underneath you and press away from the ground on the exhale. Let's do that again. Tops of the feet, inhale. Tuck the toes, exhale. And do a couple of rounds of those. Good, yogis. Finding a nice neutral spine. Keep your toes tucked underneath you. Extend your right leg behind you, keeping the toes tucked. Maybe moving your arms a little bit further forward. And just rock back and forth.
Yeah. And so we're trying to get that plantar aponeurosis a little opened up. Yeah. The bottoms of your feet, flexing and then pointing that foot. Good. Now, tuck the toes underneath you. Bring that right hand in. Just extend the left arm and then lift that right leg up. And take a breath. Suck your belly into your spine. Inhale here. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. Take a breath. Hold on to your shin and pull the knee to nose. Place your left hand down and spin open to the right side, coming into a modified plank, right? Or Vashisthasana. And take a breath here. Pressing the outside of the right foot into the ground, right? We're going to come up into Parigasana or gate pose and take a breath. Placing that right hand on the leg. Lift the left arm up, yogis, and just look at it for a moment. So we're not going deep, yogis, coming up into these warrior two arms. And then placing the left hand back down, maybe lifting the right leg up hip height, looking up at it. Good. Placing the right hand down, coming back into that three-legged tabletop. And then bring that right leg in. Cat-cow. Inhale, exhale. And do it again. Good. Tuck that left toes underneath you, moving your hands a little bit further forward. And then just do that rocking action, yogis. So we're stretching the plantar aponeurosis, or you guys call it the plantar fascia. Yeah. So just try to point and then flex and then feel the warmth and that dynamic movement. Bringing that left hand in, yogis. Extend the right arm forward and lift that left leg up. Roll everything in towards the midline. Suck your belly into your spine. Inhale here. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, elbow to knee. Hold on to your knee. Placing your right hand down. Spin open towards the left. And then lift up into this modified plank position. Right, so what's going on with the hand on the ground, right? You want to lift up out of that, yogis, and take a breath. Yeah, pressing the outside of the left foot into the ground and then coming up into your Parigasana or gate pose. Breathe, yogis. Taking the left hand on the left leg. All I want you to do is to lift the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, and then you'll feel a tremendous opening in the side body, some compression on the left side, and then reach up and take a moment. Taking that right hand down, yogis, and then framing or lifting up that left leg. Good. And then coming into that three-legged table, right, by pivoting forward, placing the left hand on the ground, and then lower that leg down. And take a breath. Sit back into your heels, yogis, and find this nice long pose. And then bring your hands behind you to find some flexion of the spine in this balasana. So if you notice, this is not a wide kneed pose. My knees are closer together so I could feel a little bit more in the lower spine, so I could feel the flexion instead of this axial extension that y'all get into all the time with that extended child's pose. And take a breath. Just notice. Yogis, start to engage the pelvic floor and lift and squeeze the belly towards the midline. So we're engaging Mula Bandha and Ujjana Bandha. Reaching your arms forward, yogis, and take a breath. Notice the difference here. As you open up your knees, big toes touch. As you extend, notice how the flexion goes away from the spine. And we try to find space in between the vertebral column, which is an axial extension. Take another breath and start to walk your arms to the right side, yogis. Finding a lateral flexion of the spine. Feels good. And take a moment. And then come back towards the midline. Walking your hands to the left, feeling the right side stretch. Coming back towards the midline. And breathe, yogis. Good, yogis. Come up, right? Bringing your knees together, sitting back towards your heels. Now, lift up in the pelvic floor and squeeze the belly towards the midline and try to rid yourself of a little bit of that lordotic curve in the lower spine. Try to find nice length, right? Lifting, squeezing knees towards the midline. Inhale here, place your left hand on your right knee and twist to the right. Here is a rotation of the spine, axial rotation. So my hips are square. It's my rib cage that's moving. And I need to lift up and suck my belly into the spine. Coming back towards the midline, take your right hand to your left knee and then twist your body. Keep your hips the same. So your knees are squeezing, your hips are square, and then your shoulders are going over to the left side. And take a moment and breathe. And then come back towards the midline. Take a breath here, yogis. Interlace your fingers and then place them behind your head. And then let the head drop back and then find a little bit of extension. So this is mild extension, yogis. And take a breath. Feels good, right? And then come back towards the midline. So breathe here, yogis. So we just moved the spine in every way possible. We extended it, we flexed it, right? We axially extended it, we laterally moved it from side to side, and we rotated the spine. Yogis, we need to do that on a constant basis and be mindful in every way that we move the spine. We need to be mindful of sensation. So get to know your practice, yogis, and take a moment. Good, we're gonna come onto all fours. Tucking the toes underneath you, yogis, we're gonna come into a down dog. Pressing index finger and thumb into the ground, engaging your quadriceps, please. Lift your eye gaze and then walk yourself to the front of your mat. Lengthening your spine when you get there. Exhale, fold, bending the knees as much as you need to in this Uttanasana. Please relax your head. Engage your quads as you roll forward towards the balls of your feet. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, palming the mat, and then walking back into your plank. Shift your weight forward, yogis. Lift your eye gaze. Bend your knees to the earth. And then lower yourself eccentrically down onto the mat. Chin on the mat. Inhale for Cobra. And then lower back down. Do that again. Inhale for Cobra. So here's extension of the spine. Pressing feet, hips, hands down. Engage the glutes. Lift your chest. And then lower down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes underneath you. Press yourself back to that child's pose. And then lift yourself up into a down dog. And breathe. Shifting your weight forward, yogis. Lengthen your spine. Engage your glutes. Engage your quads. Take a moment. Shift your weight forward again. Come halfway or bend the knees for Chaturanga Dandasana. pull your heart through for up dog or stay on the ground for cobra. And then come into your down dog. If any of those poses bother you, yogis, and it's just not comfortable for you ever, then do not do them. Just come into cat-cow and meet me in down dog. Please look in between your hands and take a walk to the front of your mat. Lengthening your spine when you get there. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, folding forward. Inhale, root to rise. Come into it. Urdhva Hastasana. Palms touch. Hands to heart. Samastitihi. So root to rise, yogis. Engage your legs. Inhale, arms come up, palms touch. Pressing hips forward, engaging the pelvic floor and the belly. Extend upward as we fold forward from the hips on the exhale. Inhale, come up halfway. Palm the mat and come into your plank. Shift your weight forward, chaturanga or modification. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Look in between the hands and let's take a walk to the front of the mat. Lengthen your spine on the inhale, exhale, fold. Root to rise, yogis. Urdhva Hastasana. Hands to heart. Samastitihi. Inhale, arms up, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Chaturanga Dandasana or modification. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Sweep your right leg back, yogis, and take a moment. Three-legged dog, internally rotated. Elevate the pose, bring your knee to nose. Step on that right foot and turn the back heel out. Bring the left hand forward towards the side, that right foot, right? So we're in a side angle. You can place your forearm on your quad if you like, but take a moment. Grabbing a hold of your big toe or keeping your hand on the floor, straighten that front leg and come into Utthita Trikonasana. Looking down at the right foot, yogis, frame it, lift the back heel, bringing that right leg back into a three-legged dog. Lower down to down dog, shifting your weight forward, chaturanga or modification. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left leg sweeps the sky in this three-legged dog. Do not open the hip, yogis. Elevate the pose and bring left knee to nose. Step on it. Turn the back heel down. Keeping the left hand on your foot on the floor or on your quadricep. We're going to open up the body to the right for this side angle. And take a breath. Grab a hold of your big toe, place your hands on your shin or use a block, yogis. We're going to straighten that left leg and straighten that right arm, yogis, and take a breath coming into your Utthita Trikonasana. Looking down towards the floor, yogis, take a breath. Framing the foot, picking up the back heel. Sweeping that left leg back for three-legged dog. Down dog, shift your weight forward, yogis. Chaturanga or modification. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. And breathe. Right leg sweeps the sky, yogis. Elevate, bring right knee to nose. Look forward, step on it, drop the back heel, coming into your Parsvakonasana, facing the left side. Take a breath. Straighten the front leg, yogis, any amount, coming into your Utthita Trikonasana. Looking down at your right foot, bending the right knee, coming into warrior two. Reversing that warrior. Coming back into warrior two. Vinyasa. Now this time, sweep that right leg back, shift your weight forward, find a one-legged plank, one-legged chaturanga, one-legged up dog, knee to nose, three-legged dog, down dog. Left leg sweeps the sky. Elevate the pose, bring left knee to nose, look forward, step on it, drop the back heel, coming into your Utkatasana. Straighten that left leg any amount, lifting that right arm up, straighten both of your arms, eventually they are in one line. Take a breath. Bending that front knee, coming into warrior two. Exalt. Warrior two. Trianga Vinyasa. Sweeping that left leg back, yogis. Shifting your weight forward, one-legged plank, one-legged chaturanga, one-legged up dog or cobra. Bring knee to nose, three-legged dog, down dog. Right leg sweeps the sky, yogis. Elevate the pose, bring knee to nose. Look forward, step on it, drop the back heel. We've been here before. We're coming into Utkatasana. Open your heart to the left, yogi. Straighten out that right leg. Lift that left arm up towards the ceiling. Triangle pose. Both legs are straight. And take another breath. Look down at the ground. Bend the knee, coming into your warrior two. Exalt the pose. Taking that right hand down, right? We're going to shift the weight. Keep your left hand on your left hip. And just come into this Ardha Chandrasana. So we're grounded. And take another breath. And breathe. Squaring off your hips, yogis. This is a grounded warrior three. Bring knee to nose. Extend it back. Finding that right side lunge. Come into your trianga. Chaturanga. Up dog. Three-legged dog. Down dog. Left leg sweeps the sky. Elevate the pose, bring knee to nose. Look forward, step on it, drop the back heel, coming into your Parigasana. Straighten that front leg, come into triangle. Bend the knee, coming into your warrior two. Exalt the pose. Warrior two. Keeping your right hand on your hip. Shifting forward into the transition for Ardha Chandrasana or half moon pose. So this is grounded in the beginning, yogis. We're going to ground this warrior 3. So square your hips off and bring your right knee to your nose. Extend that leg back. Touch the ground with that right foot. Finding that left side lunge, sweeping the left leg back, shifting your weight forward. One-legged plank, one-legged chaturanga, one-legged up dog, knee to nose, three-legged dog, down dog. And take a moment. Bringing your hands to the back of the mat. Just let's take a spacer here for a moment for a break. Opening up your feet. Slide your hands underneath your feet for Parigasana. Exhale, fold. Be mindful of your breath. Be mindful of your movements, yogis, and take a moment. Be mindful of your thoughts. And release the mind. Bringing your hands to your hips. Leading with your sternum, yogis. Come up nice and long to a standing position at the back of your mat. And take a breath. And breathe. Shifting your weight to your left leg, yogis, just come into a simple tree pose so we can find our balance amidst all the noise that we find ourselves in our world. And just come into yourself. Simple poses, yogis. And then release that. Shifting your weight to your right foot, picking up your left foot up off of the ground, bending your left knee and bringing your left foot inside your right thigh. Square your hips off, yogis, and try not to dump. Notice, can you engage the right side of the body? Lifting up in the belly. And then lower down. Take a breath here, yogis. Remind yourself of your intentions. And take a moment. Inhale, yogis. Arms up over the head. Palms touch. Exhale, fold. Hinging at the hip. Inhale, half lift. From this half lift, yogis, we're going to walk ourselves to our plank. Lifting your eye gaze, either bend the knees or come into chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. And breathe. Right leg sweeps the sky, yogis. Elevate the pose, bring knee to nose. Look forward, step on it, drop the back heel. Coming into that Parigasana, excuse me. Straighten that right leg, extend that left arm up towards the ceiling, coming into your triangle. So take a breath, yogis. This time I want you to keep your legs straight and exalt the triangle. And then bend the knee and come into warrior 2. Exalt this warrior 2. Now, take your left hand behind your back and bind your right quadricep or your hip. I want you to place that right hand on the ground. And then I want you to shift your weight forward and pick up that back leg. So we're in a half bound, half moon. And take a breath. Yogis, this is going to be a little challenging. What I want you to do is I want you to interlace your hands in the right side of your body as you shift your weight forward and shift your hips, right? Square them off and bring your hands to your sacrum so you're in a warrior 3 with your arms clasped behind you. Straighten out your arms. Take a breath. You can do this. Take a moment here, yogis. I want you to release the bind and place your left hand on the ground. Drop your left leg down and come into a lunge twist, facing the right side. Take a moment, yogis. Spinning to the left, finding Prasarita, placing forearms on the ground. Shifting your weight forward, yogis. Engage, yogis. Co-contract your muscles around your bones. Come up halfway and then spin again to the right. Take a breath here, yogis. Sweep that right leg back. Any vinyasa you'd like, yogis, take it. And breathe. Left leg sweeps the sky. Elevate the pose, bring knee to nose. Step on it. Drop the back heel, coming into that side angle. Coming into your triangle. Coming into your exalted triangle. Coming into your warrior 2. Bind that right arm behind you now, yogis. Grab a hold of the left thigh if possible and then exalt it in the bind. Coming back into that bound warrior 2, shifting your weight, right? We're going to find this bound half moon. So here is where it gets a little tricky, right? Picking up your left hand, interlace your fingers and start to square your hip off into this warrior 3. Now, of course, you could always keep it grounded. And take a breath. Opening out your arms gently to the side, taking your right hand down. Lower that right leg, coming into a twisted lunge. Framing the foot, pivoting to the right and finding Prasarita. Forearms on the ground. Inhale, come up halfway. Spinning to the left. Take any variation of vinyasa you'd like. Meet me in down dog. One last round, yogis. Sweeping the right leg behind you. Elevate the pose, bring right knee to nose. Step on that right foot, drop the back heel. Coming into that
Utkatasana. Straightening that front leg, extending that top arm. Both arms are straight for this triangle. Pressing feet down, lifting that right arm up and over for exalted triangle. Now I bind my arm right here. You can too. Coming into that bound warrior two. Exalt that bound warrior two. And then find that Ardha Chandrasana bound. This is a challenge, yogis. If you feel like this is not right for you right now, then don't do it. Just keep your hands where you need to keep them. Can you interlace your fingers and come into a bound or clasped armed warrior three? Take a moment, extend the arms out to the side like airplane wings. Drop the leg and drop that left hand and come into a twisted lunge. And breathe. Pivoting to the left side, finding prasarita. If you have arm balances, you can take them, yogis. If not, just follow me. Inhale, come up halfway. If you're in an arm balance, come out of that gently. And then meet me in a right side lunge. Take a moment here, yogis. Breathe. Picking up that right foot, sweep it up. Bending the knee. Opening up the hip. Squaring the leg off. Three-legged dog. Down dog. Left leg sweeps the sky. Elevate knee to nose. Step on it. Drop the back heel coming into your Parigasana. Triangle. Straightening out the front leg. Press feet down. I bind my arm right here, yogis. And so lift that left arm up and back. Keep your hand in the bind and come into warrior two. Exalt it. Find your half moon. Binding the arms for your warrior three. Extend arms, place right hand down, right foot down. Twist the lunge. And pivot to the right for your prasarita. Any variations you like, take them. Inhale, come up, yogis. If you're upside down, please take your time, but just meet me in a left side lunge. Sweeping that left leg back. Three-legged dog. Open up the hip, yogis. Finding that nice external rotation in the hip. And then squaring the hip off again. Three-legged dog. Down dog. Walking your hands to your feet at the back of your mat. Yogis, if you can, bring your feet a little bit closer together. Bend your knees. We're going to come into Utkatasana. But this Utkatasana is going to be half Utkatasana, so our arms are forward. Take a moment.
So we're going to lift our arms up, press the left foot down, and lift your right knee up off of the ground for stork. Lifting that knee up, yogis. Reach it forward and then come into this lunge. Both legs. Now straighten both of your legs and then fold forward for Parigasana. Take a breath. Elevate the back heel, and then we're going to pivot on the blades of the feet. So coming into standing steer. Inhale, half lift, and then spin again to the right. Take a breath. Bending that front knee, turning that back toe out a bit, coming into this crescent or warrior one pose, and take a breath. You could lift the back heel if you need to come into crescent. Take a breath here, yogis, and then cactus your arms and open up your chest. And then fold forward, yogis, bringing that right leg back. Again, open up the hip. Square it off. Three-legged dog. Down dog. Walk your hands to your feet. Bend the knees and come into that Utkatasana. Take a breath here, yogis. And then come up into stork, left knee high. Take a breath and then drop that left foot. And we're kind of like in a double lunge here. So we're going to fold forward and then straighten both of our legs. Parigasana. Now you have the option to flex the foot, and you could drop the back heel, or you could keep both heels lifted. These are variations of a theme. So what works for you today? Spinning to the left and finding your your standing steer. Taking a moment here, yogis. Spinning back, yogis. Right, finding that Parigasana again. But this time, yogis, we're going to prepare ourselves to bend the front knee. You can turn the back toes out, or you can come into crescent, whichever one you like, and come up. We're going to cactus our arms and come into extension. And come up, folding forward, bringing that left leg back, opening up the hip. Squaring off the hip. Down dog. Elevate the pose, yogis, and take a breath. Bending both knees, coming into turbo dog. Shifting your weight forward, finding a floating table. Lowering your knees down. Coming onto your heels and take a breath. Take a moment here, yogis. How are you? How do you feel? Just check in with yourself and breathe. Good, yogis. We're going to lie on our spines and bring our knees into our chest. Just take a breath here, yeah? Good. Grabbing a hold of the pointy parts of your elbows. Making sure that you feel the back of your head on the ground. Coming into Apanasana, bringing both knees in. Exhale, inhale, let the legs and the arms extend. You keep holding onto your knees. Bring the knees in, exhale, inhale, extend the arms. Do that again. Exhale, come in, inhale, release. One more time. Exhale, inhale. Good, yogis. Drop your left foot to the ground. Bring your right knee into your chest. Here's another form of Apanasana, extending that left leg if you can. Pull the left knee, flex the left foot, pull the right knee, flex the left foot. Roll around the right side of your rib cage up towards the armpit and pull. Engage Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Take a breath. Now we're going to add a twist or a rotation to this Apanasana. So we're just going to bring that right leg to the left, any amount. Yes, so notice if you feel it in your adductors or on the outsides of your thighs, you know, whatever. Just notice without judgment. Good, yogis, coming back towards the midline. Please bring both knees into your chest. And then place that right foot down. Keep your left knee into your hands. Pull. Flex the right foot and pull the left knee up towards the shoulder or the armpit. Make sure your head is on the ground, the back of your head. And then pull, yogis, rolling around the rib cage. And notice the sensation. Crossing legs over, yogis, and take a breath. Finding this rotation. Coming back towards the midline, yogis. Bringing both knees into the chest. Grabbing a hold of the outsides of the feet. Coming into happy baby or shoulder stand. Whichever you choose. If you're in happy baby, bring your knees into the chest. If you're in shoulder stand, bring your knees into your forehead. And then gently, yogis, start to lower your legs down to the mat. You could take a full wheel, or you could take a fish, or you could take a supported bridge, and I'll show you the supported bridge. Take a block underneath your sacrum. Take one more deep breath here, yogis. If you're in supported bridge, press your feet down, engage your glutes. And then lower the hips back down to the ground. Everyone, just let's knock our knees together and take a breath. Preparing yourself for your Shavasana, yogis. You can keep your knees bent. You can roll on your belly. You can roll on your side. Inhale here, nice and long, and then open your mouth and let go. And do that again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And just find your Shavasana, yogis. Any place. Surrender
to any tension that's left. Yogis, if you want to stay in the Shavasana, you can for as long as you need to. Just be very mindful when you come up. Make sure you come out of it slowly and with mindfulness. Pay attention. If you need to wake up with me, yogis, start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Finding movement gently, maybe rolling to the right or to the left. And finding a seat. Yogis, bring your hands to heart center and notice and recognize how blessed you are to be able to go on this journey. And the responsibility is ours, not to spread conspiracy theories, not to spread fear or hate, but to spread something that we need to hear so much, and that's the truth. Be mindful of your words, your actions, and your deeds. Be mindful, yogis, every day. We need to hear the truth, and we need to teach each other the truth. Satnam and Namaste.